class class consciousness and the role of revolution. Something that the Russian Revolution, A View from the Third World, written by Walter Rodney, highly recommend that. Any of his other works, definitely need to read How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. Rereading The Russian Revolution, A View from the Third World for the second or third time, and on one of the chapters about, was it inevitable that the Russian Revolution was bound to happen? And Walter Rodney was talking about how revolution, from a materialist perspective, from a scientific socialist perspective, will always be an inevitability because of the class contradictions that exist in a capitalist society or even a feudal society, right? When the class consciousness of, it's not based on the class consciousness of a specific individual, but of the class consciousness of a particular class in general. So Russia, 1917, it was obviously a true revolution from the bottom up, overturning the old social order, the rule of the bourgeoisie and the czarist state, because of the consciousness level, the class consciousness of the working class, due to the material conditions and other social forces in that country, had reached to basically a boiling point that made the Russian Revolution inevitable at that point. So pretty interesting, just thinking about the role of class consciousness in revolutions, and in the capitalist context of the United States, we see the class contradictions getting more and more pronounced by the day, by the year, by the month, etc. And I think the working class is continuing to further develop that class consciousness. And also that's why you see so much bourgeoisie propaganda in the media trying to combat that, and trying to implant that false consciousness, telling people, the economy is doing so well, you have nothing to worry about as you're working 2 or 3 jobs just to survive. But more and more people see through the smoke and see through the mirrors and see that it is the working class against the owning class, and that is the great contradiction. And obviously the US being a settler colonial state, there's a whole lot of other contradictions at place as well, like the ruling class trying to demonize migrants as being the cause of the working class's problems, when that's completely distracting from the point that it's not migrants, some of the most marginalized and oppressed people and groups in the United States, aren't causing the issues for other workers. It's the capitalist class who exploit all workers. So pretty interesting. Again, highly recommend that book by Walter Rodney, The Russian Revolution, A View from the Third World. Rodney was a academic, an activist, a socialist, from Guyana, and he was assassinated in Guyana, I believe, sometime in the 1980s. But definitely check him out if you haven't already. Peace, much love, all power to the people.